customers, and obviously also it was a little extra money, so it was nice to get those little extra money. Today, you don't go out and get a customer because, or I can say, I don't go out and get a personal customer because I want to earn 20 or 30 euros. I don't do that for the money. I earn the money from before, you know. So I have to have a different set of values when I'm doing it to actually make it a priority in a very busy schedule that I also know that each and every one of you have. So I think that when you get to a certain point, you have to look at getting customers and personal customers a different way. And I can tell you the reason why I still do it is first and foremost, three major reasons, I would say. First and foremost, I do it because I have a passion for the product. Every single week, every single month, I get testimonials from people that are telling me their story about how this product has changed their life. You know, just at the event we had in Oslo a few weeks back, I think I had like 5 or 6 people coming up to me. Some people crying, being just overly excited, thanking us, you know, for bringing this product or different products into their life. So, obviously, I do it because I actually do believe very much in what we do. But secondly, I also do believe, or I do it because I have to keep my axe sharp. And I think that even though you're not, maybe you're one of the people that aren't on the 10 customers, even though you aren't necessarily on 18, even though if you are on 18 or above, you still have to keep your axe sharp. Because every time we launch a new price, every time we launch a new product, if you don't know how to sell it, you're not going to be a good teacher. And you might think that you can teach it through your team, but in reality, maybe you're not the one being actually the teacher of that particular team. And thirdly, I do it because of what we actually opened up with yesterday. I do believe that everything starts with our name list. Everything starts with us picking up the phone and actually going back to the basic. And I know that the minute I accept my own excuses, I will accept my team's excuses and my leader's excuses. And I don't want to get into that situation. So I think that when it comes to personal customers, we have 6 pillars, and personal customers is really, you know, the number one skill that we all actually need to learn. And I think that if you jump over that pillar, or if you forget about it for a long period of time, eventually it will catch up with you. And that's maybe maybe you're not going to be in the situation where you actually earn the most money long term. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the basics, and in many ways maybe it is a little funny to talk about, you know, how to do a customer demonstration in front of the royal crowns and above, but I actually do believe that this is what our team needs. This is what we need. And if we become really good at teaching the basics within our team, we're also going to duplicate a lot faster. So when it comes to a customer meeting, I want to touch on 3 specific topics actually today. One is the need analysis in a customer meeting. The second thing is the actual presentation. And we don't have time to go into extend and lean shape today, so we're going to focus on the balanced presentation. And then I also want to touch on how to do a closing in a meeting, and how to present the offer the right way. Like you know, I'm a mom to a little over a 2-year-old April now, and actually when you're a mom to a young child, it can be sometimes a little difficult to find his need. Sometimes you have to test, try again, and change around, and you know, try all kinds of things to actually figure out what he really wants. And you know, when you get in the terrible 2 age, you know, I thought that was just a myth, you know, that's not something that my son will ever get into. I'm going to teach him yes, or it is going to teach him yes. But Gabriel has so many different ways of saying no. So it's kind of like today, actually, he has 4 specific ways of saying no. The first one, obviously the Norwegian word for no is nei. So the first one is like nei. The second one is like a little bit more determined, so it's like nei. And the third one is like when he kind of throws his arm over, nei. And then if he becomes really angry, he kind of does like this, and he says, no! He goes over to English. So it's very strange. So, you know, sometimes it can actually be quite a challenge to get him to understand or to find out what does he really want. But, you know, finding a person's need is not just, you know, important when it comes to your child. It's important also when it comes to our team. If your team are going to be motivated, you have to know their needs. If you're going to prospect a cold contact, well, you have to be good at asking questions to find that person's need. When you're sitting in a presentation, it's really up to the questions you ask to determine whether they're going to buy or not. So what usually happens in a presentation, or one of the biggest mistakes I usually see happens, is that people sit down and they kind of do like the formal questions. What do you work with? Do you have a family? Blah, blah, blah. And those questions kind of repeat themselves also in a customer meeting. And then, without actually doing any more need analysis, they jump straight into the actual presentation, the sheets. So I do believe that it's very important to actually start to ask different questions that are opening them up for what you're going to present. So typical questions that I use myself is usually I open up with saying, after, you know, doing the formal thing, I would say, so what does really good health need to do? And then I'm silent. And I get their response. And then maybe I say, do you do anything in particular to take especially good care of your health? Do you exercise? Are you focused on what you eat? And I would like them to talk. Because the more I get them to talk, the easier it is going to be for me to actually give them the presentation where they're listening. Now, a typical, another question that I would usually say is that most people know that it's quite healthy to eat fish. But have you ever considered why it's healthy? And I get their response on that. Usually then we go into omega-3s, and they then say, well, or I then say, so what do you know about omega-3s? And I get their response for that. Then I ask them, do you take any omega-3 supplement today? Have you noticed any difference after starting to take it? And a very vital question, have you ever tested how it works on you? So these are some of the questions that I usually go through. Sometimes I don't touch on all the questions, but my idea is that I want to create a dialogue instead of a monologue. I think that what is very important to understand when it comes to need analysis is that there's a very important English word called reciprocity. And reciprocity really means that if I buy you lunch, for instance, you would like to buy me lunch the next time. If I give you, Manu, a book, you would like to give me something back in return the next time, you know? So when I ask you a question and I listen and you talk, you're opening up to listen to me after. Are you getting something from this?
Yes.
Could that be a questionnaire in the presentation?
Sure, we could probably add it, at least, I don't know if it's good to add it especially in the presentation, but maybe an express start.
On the first page, or the page before?
Maybe, yeah. It's a good input.
It's strange when you're giving this to the customers afterwards.
No, but you fill it in and then they get it and they know they can see
we
what
could
they
probably
answered themselves.
we could probably do something with it. I don't know if I can promise it with this version,
No.
but we can
We'll just
definitely
make it
upgrade them,
simple, but we
and
can
it's
remember
good,
it.
it's a good input.
Let's just